Hey folks, let's dive into the world of the BYD Leopard 5. They say it takes the raw power of a sports car and wraps it in the body of an SUV. Is this true? Let's take a look. If you're expecting a sleek, city-roaming SUV, you might want to adjust those expectations. This thing is like a throwback to the old-school rough-and-tumble off-roaders. It's about function, not just trying to look pretty parked outside a cafe. Now this SUV is big, almost 5 meters long. More about the adventure and none about the curvy, streamlined business here. Designers sat down and said, let's make this thing climb a Skyrim mountain. I do respect that though. Huge wheel arches that make room for 20-inch wheels. If you're really into off-roading, you can even get those chunky Goodrich off-road tires. Now, one of my favorite features is the side-opening tailgate. Super practical. It means loading and unloading your camping gear or anything else you carry. This is a small detail, but it shows that BYD thought about how people would actually use this SUV. But let's be real, the design isn't for everyone. If you're into sleek modern lines, the Leopard 5 might come off as a bit too, well, boxy. The designers were so focused on making it look tough that they forgot about the subtleties, and those unpainted plastic accents definitely add to the rugged vibe, but some might find them a bit too much. The front grille is bold, surrounded by a set of striking headlights. It's like the Leopard staring you down. It's creepy. So, you open the door and bam, you're greeted with this modern techie vibe, a contrast to the tough guy look it has on the outside. It's like walking into a modern tech office after looking at a vintage Land Rover. The first thing you'll notice is the screens, loads of them. A 12.3-inch instrument panel for the driver, a huge 15.6-inch central control screen, and another 12.3-inch screen for the co-pilot. Overall, they got this double dragon style. Fancy, right? It gives off this luxurious, techie feel. The use of premium materials is evident. You've got Nappa leather seats that are just lush. And hey, they're not just good to look at, they're practical with heating, cooling, and massage functions. BYD didn't just stop at making the seats comfy though. They threw in a 50-watt wireless charging pad, a 3-zone climate control system, and get this, an active fragrance system. Yeah, your car can smell nice on demand. Plus, an 18-speaker Devi Alert sound system is just music to your ears. Sure thing, tech geeks would love it. A massive 50-inch projection screen with a mini cinema in your car, and the center console is packed with buttons. It's a bit old school, but maybe you love that tactical feel. You can even operate them with your gloves on, which is neat if you ask me. My opinion? I find it a bit too much. If you're into minimalist designs, this interior will feel overwhelming. It's like they tried to pack in every cool feature they could think of. Tremendous, but a bit of sensory overload. The inside of this car is a shapeshifter. Need more cargo space? Boom, you got it. More seats? No problem. Now, what's cooking under the hood? The Leopard 5 plays a different game with a hybrid powertrain. I'm talking about a 1.5-litre turbo engine teamed up with a couple of electric motors. The result is a whopping 680 horsepower. That's unexpectedly powerful. In the city, you can cruise around using electric power, which is excellent for short trips or daily commutes. It's got about 125 kilometers of pure electric range, which is decent for an SUV of this size. On the longer journeys, the combined powertrain gives you a range of around 1,200 kilometers. That means you could technically drive from Los Angeles to Denver without sweating about where to charge next. 680 horsepower in an SUV is like putting the heart of a lion in a sheep. Seriously overpowered for an average SUV. But hey, who's complaining? It's perfect for those who love the thrill of power but also want the practicality of an SUV. But it might not be so good either. The hybrid setup also means the car is more complex. More parts means more potential for things to go wrong and possibly higher maintenance down the line. The user interface and connectivity on this thing are top-notch, like having a smart home on wheels. You've got integration with your phone, real-time updates, and a personal assistant vibe. Super convenient, but sometimes I wonder if we're making these cars too dependent on tech. I mean, what happens if there's a system glitch, right? The SUV's also got night vision, seeing things you'd usually miss in the dark. As always, BYD uses eco-friendly materials inside the Leopard 5, which is fantastic for the planet. The regenerative braking system is smooth and efficient, and you're getting more bang for your buck energy-wise. The only catch is that it can feel a bit different from traditional braking, so it might take some getting used to. The thermal management system is a hidden gem, keeping those batteries and motors cool. The advanced driver assistant is like a co-pilot that's always looking out for you, keeping things safe and smooth. Customizable driving modes are a big plus. You can tweak the Leopard 5 as your gentle city cruiser or wild off-road beast, though how many of us are going to fiddle with these settings regularly? BYD has this adaptive LED system that's pretty smart. It's all just based on your driving conditions. Pretty cool at night, but again, more tech can potentially go wrong. The aerodynamics on the Leopard 5 look boxy, but it's sneakily streamlined. It's efficient, but don't expect it to slice through the air like a sports car. Active noise cancellation is excellent for those long drives. Sometimes, though, I miss the raw engine noise. The solar roof is a nice touch and adds a bit of charge to the battery, but don't expect miracles. It's more about maintaining the battery health than really extending your range. The acceleration claim from BYD is quite a statement. 0 to 100 km/h in just 4.8 seconds for a hefty SUV means entering sports car territory. Inside the Leopard 5, there's a digital instrument panel and a large central touchscreen. They're almost a standard fare in today's vehicles, but what really matters is the user experience. How intuitive are they? More of a help or a barrier while driving? But there's more to it. The interior is designed with practicality in mind. Buttons are well-sized, a small but significant detail, an outstanding feature for those living in colder climates and wearing gloves often. The use of leather in the interior adds a touch of elegance and comfort. Air suspension or just the right height on the fly. Your car is constantly tiptoeing and ducking to give you the smoothest ride no matter the terrain. What about the safety? The Leopard 5 has a range of modern systems like adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and automatic emergency braking. Oh, almost forgot about rapid charging technology, a crucial factor for EVs in today's fast-paced world. Now, what about the off-road chops? This fella isn't just dressing up for the part with its rugged looks, but is genuinely equipped to handle the rough stuff. The sound is covered by the Devialat audio system, so the Leopard 5 sits on this dual-mode off-road platform, which is pretty interesting. It's not your average SUV platform, it's specifically tailored for off-road conditions. What makes it stand out is the adjustable suspension for each wheel. That's a feature usually reserved for high-end off-roaders, so seeing it on the Leopard 5 is impressive. This means you can adapt the suspension setup depending on the terrain you're tackling, rocky trails, muddy parts, or sand dunes. This level of customization does it efficiently and comfortably. For anyone who's into serious off-roading, the ability to tweak the suspension on the fly can be a game changer. It lets you optimize the vehicle for various terrains, improving the ride quality and reducing the risk of getting stuck or damaging the undercarriage. There's more than just adjustable suspension though. The combination of a robust hybrid powertrain with electric motors provides instant torque, a key factor for tricky off-road situations. Plus, their potential hardcore off-road version would put it in league with some of the more established vehicles in the niche. But what's with the price? It's around 400,000 yuan, or $55,000 or 48,000 euros. That's a pretty competitive price tag for what it offers, especially considering the beefy 680 horsepower it packs under the hood. This price point pits it against the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid and Honda CR-V Hybrid. These guys have been around the block a few times. Will the Leopard 5 be ready to rumble? So, what's the takeaway? The BYD Leopard 5 is designed for tech geeks and adventurers ready to go off-road. Sure, it's not perfect. The hybrid setup might not please the purists, and some might find all the tech a bit overwhelming. But in general, it's a bold statement by BYD, a blend of traditional SUV toughness with the finesse of modern technology. The future of SUVs looks pretty darn exciting.